that you could say about that situation? Because it's a sensitive subject, but it's a conversation that I feel needs to be had, but we have to have it in a sensitive way where we're not attacking our trans sisters or it even being
Right.
perceived that way because our liberation is tied. And it's troublesome sometimes when folks don't have the language because they may have that message in their heart, but it's just not coming out of their mouth the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in that case, like I'm still close with Lath. Like we're friends. We live in
Yeah.
the same building.
Oh, wow.
He's watching my dog right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Like,
Awesome.
yeah, doors
Shout out to
down.
Late Ashley, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think in that scenario, we get so much infighting within the community and people with passing privilege, and I'll say this from personal experience, just in some people's eyes, they will fight to misunderstand you because they don't want to see themselves in you, or they don't want to hear your point, even if you have one, or they don't want to see you in their shoes.
Yeah.
Like it's just like being light skinned. Some people are like, oh, not black enough, can't talk on that subject. Or no, can I talk about dark skin?
We can go anywhere.
The answer is no.
No,
The answer is no.
yeah.
No, I cannot. I mean, black issues where they don't want us to speak up, and I'm like, no, I'm still a black person. I still walk the world as a black.
They
person.
do this to Blossom.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like she can't be trans and black in the same space.
Oh my God.
Or can't talk about it in the same
The
space.
intersectionality that we are not allowed to have, that we are expected to navigate through perfectly, like a maze built for us, when really none of this is built for us.
Yeah.
And we're rejected from all of our communities at some point. And like, you're rejected from womanhood, you're rejected from blackness, you're rejected from transness if you don't do trans exactly how this influencer thinks you should be trans.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. And that's where I will defend Lath, because I understood what he meant, what he was saying, but people were fighting to misunderstand him. And I don't care if you want to cancel me in saying that. Fuck you. You ain't shit and you don't know me. Anyway.
Yeah.
No, and you don't. And we all have, and it doesn't matter, and I tell people this all the time, it doesn't matter what level of fame or passability you get to as a trans person, you are just a trans person to everyone else in the world. And you're gonna walk the world through that because people are going to fight to misunderstand you, fight to misrepresent you, fight to misgender you. Like if I get misgendered these days, it happens very rarely, but when it does, I know it was on purpose. I'm like, you did that on purpose. And it was to flex that I'm not like you.
Yeah.
And that I'm never going to acclimate into your world, which I never even wanted to do, by the way. I'm just trying to be the best me I can be. I'm not in a contest with anybody else.
But your bank account, you want to just get those numbers.
Fuck capitalism. Fuck
Yeah.
capitalism.
Yeah.
I really would
For
like us to have a
sure.
new way.
Yeah,
I would like
there's
a new
that.
way.
When it came to Leif, though, in that conversation, I felt like he did it the best way he knew how, because when I listened to it, especially the part when he was talking about trans men being socialized female, I actually understood that, because there's this nuance and this cognitive dissonance within our trans women and trans men community that talks so much about, trans men having to learn to be the protector and trans women learning to fall back and be more of the nurturer. And those types of conversations are really, really important because they are a part of our lives and a part of our social construct of what being trans is. And it broke my heart to see a lot of backlash, because I was actually one of the ones that defended Leif. And I remember ISIS and a few other people defended him or whatever, because there were a lot of trans men that were kind of coming out, particularly non-Black or non-POC trans men.
Always the
that
first
had a
ones
lot
to attack.
That
I
had
said
a
it.
lot to say about that. And I was
Well, I have a
just like,
comment to come right after
yeah.
this. So,
And I was just like, but y'all are kind of missing the point, because that's kind of one of the best ways you can explain it and be able to get what they're talking about. Now that language to some trans men, again, I'm not a trans man, we talk about this every episode. Now, I can understand it being a little triggering because, the vocabulary is still forming and we're trying to do our best, but you're not going to be able to please everyone.
You can't.
And I didn't think Leif got that fair justice when that came about. But I can say, as a trans sister, I learned. And it did make some kind of impact.
Yeah, and I did have, on the other hand, I think it's not so far removed from our own experience, because the trans male experience where it says they're socialized female, that is no different than the way that cisgender women view trans women, saying, oh, we were socialized as male, you don't know a woman's struggle, when really we were femmes. Like I wasn't invited to the reindeer games. I wasn't invited to the boys' sleepover. I wasn't allowed to play with Billy and Johnny because they didn't want to play with me, and I couldn't figure out why no one wanted to play with me but the girls. And so it's and I liked playing with the girls. It was fine, but like you try to fit in as best you can, and the more you try to fit in, the more ostracized you are, the more bullied you are, the more called out you are because they know you're not like them. They know it, and that's why when people are like, "Oh, kids don't know what they are," yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying kids are going to get surgeries because they are not. Fully, they're not. One, it's not legal.
The percentage
Two,
is not. It's like
people like I need to say that from me too.
most
I know
people
y'all
can't
know.
even afford it when they're 18 plus. You think these kids are doing it? It's like one or two kids in history, and they make a whole documentary.
Yeah, they're
about
like the
it.
government's paying for their sexual reassignment surgery at 5. I'm like, that has never happened in the history of the world. Stop. No, stop the lies. You're spreading lies and propaganda, and
fear mongering.
Yeah, but they don't want us to socially transition at that age when really it wouldn't do anything for the kid. Because I would sleep on the girl side at nap time just so I wouldn't be bullied. And the teachers knew that. And so it's like you clearly saw something was different about me. I was feminine and you should have just leaned into it.
Yeah.
Because look what happened. Nothing changed.
Fabulous.
Nothing changed. Yeah, no, but it didn't get any more masculine, y'all. So it's like, you're fighting something just because you don't like it versus it just being in front of your face and you believing what it is. Like, stop pretending you don't know. And so that being said, I think that trans women could empathize with Lay's statement, at least when we are called out for the wrong reasons. Like, oh, you guys were men before, you had privilege. Pause. I was not, no. There was no male privilege anywhere.
Talk about
I was
it.
treated like a less than.
Yeah.
Compared to any other male presenting person.
Yeah. No, truly.
And we all were.
Yeah,
like most of us were. Yeah, the only person that wasn't was probably Caitlyn Jenner. Anyway.
I have a history with Caitlyn.
I know. But I had to say it because that's someone who behaves how a lot of people think that we behaved before. Like, oh, they're just males using male privilege and now just, in drag now. And I'm like, absolutely not. I'm just being myself. I'm the same. I haven't changed at all.